Reducing waste is one way to improve sustainability, and one way to do it is to compost.
But do people really know what composting is?
Do you know what composting is?
Sort of. Like, I think it's just like, I'm pretty sure it's like you have like your own little garbage container, and I think just like old unwanted food goes in there. So it's like mainly just like a trash can, kind of just for like old food.
It's about like worms and how they like eat and then they compound, like, I don't know.
Is taking garbage and turning it into something that will not be garbage anymore.
I think composting is when you eat something and the leftover like food, instead of throwing it in the trash, you put it in the ground. So the ants and the worms, the little maggots, they eat it. And it creates soil nutrients. And that way, the plants can grow better than using the fertilizer.
We have a vague idea of what it is, but it's constantly overlooked.
We spoke to Bob Williams, an agricultural professor from Connecticut, to find out.
Sure, breaking down organic matter in an aerobic environment.
Based on our data from several states, people typically don't compost.
Even those who do know what it is don't engage in the habit of depositing organic material. Why?
I think if you could convince people of ways that they could do it easily, although I'm a good advocate of aerobic composting, there are things like the bukachi system that can be done in an apartment that could easily incorporating organic matters without smell into an aerobic pile later on down the road. So maybe we can show people ways to compost that don't make them think they have to have a big pile somewhere in a side yard if they don't have property.
Have you noticed that people who live in suburban areas where you are from compost more frequently than people who live in urban areas?
I don't know if people in suburban areas compost more frequently than my urban friends. I think probably so, because generally they think they need the space and they're willing to sacrifice the space to make a compost pile, as opposed to urban people who might need to do it in an enclosed container or do something creative like vermicomposting.
Even where I work, we don't have those composting.
So you guys don't have compost bins?
We do not have. That's a shame. And then wherever I go, I never seen that. Never. I go places everywhere. The only thing I've seen lately for the last maybe 10 years is recycling bins.
Yeah, those are very popular.
Yeah, but no composting. And I didn't know that in New York, probably we have here, but I never seen that. Never. And I work in a big place. There is nothing like that I know.
Do you compost?
I do not compost. I think it just smells really bad and attracts a lot of bees and bugs, and I'm not about that.
The majority of people, both in New York City and not, do not compost. However, 4 of the 5 people who do compost are from suburban areas. What does this say?
We spoke with Barbara Musing, a worker from the New York City Compost Project, a nonprofit organization funded by the DSNY and Botanical Gardens that aims to improve education on composting.
Basically, the Department of Sanitation funds 2 programs. One is the organic curbside collection, which are the brown bins. It's collected like recycling and trash. It's only available in certain pilot program areas. And they're in all 5 boroughs, but they're currently it's not mandatory, it's totally voluntary. So that's one program. And then the other program is the New York City Compost Project, and it's a little bit different in that it's more based on community composting. It's hosted by different nonprofits, so the one that I work with is Big Reuse. And there's also the Queens Botanical Gardens, the other botanical gardens, Earth Matter, all those kinds of things. I think there's 7 in total, Snug Harbor.
What is the NYC Compost Project?
Well, it's recycling of food and organics, and it's not taking off the way it should. Most people don't recycle. They don't separate their garbage properly. Hopefully, eventually, it'll catch on. Right now, I don't see it being a big thing. The city's not even. They really didn't take the project too seriously, in my opinion. Just like the removal of flat screen TVs and televisions, there is absolutely no system with that. People do not know what to do. And
Do you think the NYC Compost Project was a good use of government funds?
Well, the idea is a good one, but no, I don't think it caught on. I think there's a lot of what was funded. Giving out everybody these garbage pails that no one seems to be using. Funds could have been used for something better, like new equipment, new trucks, better facilities for the workers.
What is composting to you?
You take organic matter and you put it all together.
Okay.
And you have it decompose, and then you use that as fertilizer for your plants.
Okay.
So do you personally compost?
Yes.
Do you know what composting is?
Yeah.
Can you please elaborate?
Okay, so basically you take like food scraps and food soiled like paper items, like napkins, and you put them in a bin. It helps fertilize your soil.
Yay. So do you compost?
Yes, I do.
Is composting promoted in your area?
Yeah, my neighborhood, they actually like bought every house on the block like a composting bin. So I have 2 in my house, and like 2 regular ones, and then we have 2 little ones for inside the house. So then you can bring it outside. Yeah.
Is composting supported in your area?
Compost is supported in some areas of the greater Boston district. In Cambridge, they have services where you can get essentially like you have a recycling bin, a trash bin, and a compost bin that gets picked up weekly by the city. And it's a service you pay for, so it's not free. But it's not that expensive because the service picks it up and then redistributes it, like sells the compost. So they are making money off of it too. It's just helping you. Like if you can't have your own compost going on, you're able to go through this service, but not only like the really rich areas of the city have that service. So like where I live, which is not the rich area, I just compost in my backyard, and it like supports it insofar as I have a yard to do it in, and nobody's coming to like be like no. So it's supported.
Yeah. Why do you compost?
Originally I composted just to be a better steward to the earth, trying to cut down on my personal footprint. So I cook a lot, like every meal. So I was realizing I was throwing a lot of scraps away, and I wanted to use them instead to start growing food in my backyard. And so I got my brother to buy me a composting barrel for Christmas so that I could start doing that.